If you're enjoying these videos, subscribe. Let YouTube know that I'm doing a good job by subscribing to the channel. Plus, you'll get notified when I have new videos coming out. And finally, if you're enjoying what I'm doing, give it a like. Just click on that thumbs up, and that way YouTube knows that you like it, and they'll pass it along to other people that might enjoy my content as well. I really appreciate it. Thank you again. Let's get started.
Now let's watch. Magandang araw mga kamangga, magandang araw sa lahat ng mga viewers, sa mga nanonood at sa nakikinig. Itong area na to, dito tayo mag-i-introduce ngayon sa program ko sa production ng mangga. Ito yung first na steps ng pagpapabunga natin sa mangga. Ang una kong ginawa sa pagpabunga ng mangga ay conditioning. Ang conditioning, doon natin gagawin ang pag-fertilize ng mangga. Unang-una pag-fertilize ng mangga. Pero bago mag-fertilize ng mangga, itong ground na to ay i-spray ko muna ng herbicides or ipapaano ko na lang, grass cutter ko na lang. Yan yung steps ko sa pagpalinis sa ilalim ng mangga. Pangalawa, magpe-fertilize tayo, maglagay tayo ng pataba sa puno, sa ilalim ng puno. Ang method of application ko ay 1 metro lang galing sa puno ang pag-apply ko ng abono. Complete fertilizer and urea. The 4600 and 1414. Yun yung application ko. Right after nga pila ka months ang darating yung na magbago na ang dahon ng mangga. So sa pagbago ng dahon, doon na tayo magbubuhos ng hormone, growth hormone or the paclobutrazol na madaling mapapatandaan niya ang dahon ng mangga. So mga kaibigan, punta din tayo sa ibang area ngayon. Itong area ngayon na makikita natin, ito maraming puno. Itong area na to ay nasa 120 kapuno ng mangga. Ito ay bago lang namin naharbisan. Nakakuha kami dito ng 35 tons. Last November 15, 2021, nakuna namin ito ng 35 tons sa 120 kapuno na mangga. So ngayon, since ang produce ko ng mangga ay whole year round, every month may harvest ako, kaya ito, pagkatapos namin sa ibang area, ito naman ang i-kondisyon. Ito yung first tips ng pagpapabunga natin, conditioning. So doon na natin fertilization, cleaning sa ilalim ng puno. Yun lang. At yung mga unnecessary branches, ikakat namin yun, pruning. So, yun lang. Doon na tayo sa may kondisyon na puno. Ito na ang step 2, simula doon sa step 1 na uncondition ng mangga. So, ngayon, dito na tayo. Tapos na siyang kinukondisyon, tapos na siyang pinifertilize. So, ito na yung dahon sa kondisyon ng mangga. Ayan. Naka na siya. Dark green na. So, sa ngayon, dito tayo, ito na steps. Ito ang steps na mag-apply tayo ng paclobutrazol. Ang purpose ng paclobutrazol ay hormone na mapadali niya magmatanda at saka ipiprepare niya ang dahon na kung i-induce natin ay madaling lumabas yung bulaklak. Magalabas ang bulaklak 80 to 100%. So sa ngayon, ituturo ko ang puno, mga kaibigan. Ang sinabi ko ay mag-a-apply tayo ng paclobutrazol. So kanina, sinabi ko na dapat malinis yung ground ng mangga. So ito, malinis na talaga. Matingnan natin, makita natin, malinis ang puno ng mangga. So butasan natin dito sa gilid, 4 na butas dito tayo mag-apply ng paclobutrazol. So, right after na nag-apply tayo ng paclobutrazol, after 4 months, kasi ang maturity or ang effectivity ng paclobutrazol sa akin na conditioning ay 4 months. Antayin ko na dating ang 4 months, saka pa ako mag-i-induce. So makita natin ngayon, sobrang kondisyon na ang mangga. Ayan, may porsyon na ng sanga na nagbulak. Kung tingnan natin dyan banda, walang bulak. Dito nagbubulaklak. Kasi sobrang kondisyon ng mangga. So ito na ang time, ito na ang peak na time na i-induce natin with the use of calcium nitrate. Yan ang ginamit ko na flower inducer. Okay, tapos na tayo sa inducing. So dito na tayo sa pest control. Kasi pag lumabas na ang bulaklak, andyan na naman ang mga pesting umatake sa bulaklak. Sa first control natin, like for example, nag-induce tayo ng January 1. So pagka January 11 yan, doon tayo magpe-first control. 11 days. Count tayo ng 11 days. So, doon tayo mag-first control. And, follow up tayo ng 18 days. Magka-count tayo simula doon sa pag-i-induce ng January 1, January 11, at saka January 18. Right after sa second control, pest control yan ha, ka-count na naman tayo doon sa January 23 at age of 23 days ng bulaklak, doon tayo magpapabaon. So lahat-lahat ng chemicals, fungicide especially, doon natin i-apply. Mostly sa mga ina-apply kong fungicide na ginagamit ko, siyempre yung pinaka-special ko ng mga chemicals galing Bayer. Yun ang mga produkto kong ginagamit, mga kaibigan kong manggero. So, pabaon tayo. Right after sa pabaon, hindi tayo mag-i-spray doon ng 12 days. So, 23 days plus 12 days. So, magiging plus 12. 23 plus 12, magiging 35 or as early, depende sa pagmonitor ng bulaklak, pwede natin i-advance, depende. Lalo na kung ang panahon ay hindi sasabay sa atin, hindi bumigay ng magandang panahon, medyo ma-early tayong magwaswas. Ma-early tayong magwaswas, dito tayo sa edad ng 33 to 35 days. Alam nyo kung bakit hindi natin i-sprayhan simula ng 23 days hanggang 33. Dahil ito po ay time ng pollination. That is pollination period. Hindi natin pwedeng mag-i-spray, hindi tayo pwedeng mag-i-spray ng mga insecticide kung ano-anong pamatay peste dahil madadamay ang mga pollinator natin, yung mga honeybees, yung magpupollinate ng bulaklak natin para mapuporma yung butil natin na magawang mangga. Dito na tayo sa tapos ng ipupollinate, right after the pollination period. So mga kaibigan kong manggero, mga viewers, pagkatapos ng ipollinate ang bulaklak natin ng mga honeybees, ito na yung forma. Lumabas na yung butil. Mga malalaki na. Ito na po ang edad ng 33 days. So advance tayo ngayon kasi palaging umulan, bumabagyo. So ang ginawa natin, nag-advance tayo mag-spray, 33 days tayo ngayon. Para ma-protect natin yung mga maliliit na bungang mangga para magtuloy-tuloy siya. So ang ginawa ko, inokontrol ko ng fungicide, insecticide, lahat-lahat dito ina-apply ko ngayon. Tsaka at the same time, nagpe-fertilize din ako through foliage. Linagyan ko ng foliar fertilizer. So ito, tapos na natin itong na-spray, nakokontrol na natin ng fungus dito. Tuloy-tuloy na ito, every 4 to 5 days. Balikan na naman natin ito, mag-spray hanggang sa ibalot. Nagbabalot ako dito sa area ko at age of 65 days. So more or less, maka-5 spray pa tayo. 5 schedule pa po ang gagawin bago tayo makabalot nito. Okay, ito na yung pang-7 schedule ng operasyon natin sa pagpapabunga ng mangga. Ito ang tinawag na waswas. So sa waswas time, kailangan natin yuyug-yugin itong bulaklak ng mangga para matanggal yung nabubulok na bulaklak. Kailangan talaga, kasi ang advantage ng yuyug-yugin ang bulak, matanggal yung patay na bulaklak para diretso siya malinis ang bulak. So ito mga kamanggero ko, mga kaibigan kong mga viewers na mahilig sa mangga, kailangan yug-yugin para malinis yung bulaklak niya. Katulad nito, madami pang patay na bulaklak, pero right after so, ang advantage kung bakit yug-yugin natin to, kasi kung hindi ito makuha, tapos darating ang malakas na ulan, ay ito po ay magiging, dito mag-attract ang fungus, yung anthracnose, na magiging sanhi, na maging mabulok yung fruit setting niya. So hindi na magtuloy. Kaya sa practice ko, meron talaga akong mga taga-uyog team kung sa Cebuano na termino. Uyog ito uyogin. Kaya ito, nag-edad na itong bulaklak na ito, ang edad niya ay nasa 32 o 33 days na. So ito na yung fruit setting niya. Ito na yung bunga niya na magiging bunga na. Kung maglaki, magiging mangga na siya. Ito yung fruit setting niya. Ito yung magtuloy-tuloy na magiging mangga na sa paglaki. Okay, dito na tayo sa steps 8 or ang pagbabalot, pagbabaging ng bungang mangga. Ito ay nag-edad na ng 60 days. So ito, pinapabalot ko na ng mga balotero ko para, ang purpose din na ibabalot siya, maprotek ang bunga, hindi mataki sa, yun na pinaka-problema namin ngayon na infestation sa mangga, yung kurikong. Kung sa Katagalogan pa, kurikong. Sa Cebuano, buti. Sa Ilonggo, turak yung tawag nila. So mga kasama kong mga manggero, mga viewers na nakikinig at nanonood ngayon, ito, tapos na. Abot na tayo sa punto na ibabalot ang mangga. Ulitin ko, ang purpose kung bakit ibalot ang mangga, para mai-protect siya, at saka kung i-harvest, makinis at guwapa ang mangga. Pwedeng pipilian para sa export. Kasi ako, nag-i-export na rin ako sa Middle East sa Dubai. Kaya wala akong mangga na hindi binalot. Wala akong bungang mangga na hindi binalot para mapipilian ko, ipapadala ko sa Dubai. So, pagkatapos pagkatapos natin ibalot ito at age of 60 days, so antay na lang tayo na mag-mature siya. So, ito ay may dalawa pang schedule ng pag-spray. Ang purpose niyan ay para hindi makapasok yung mga maitim na langgam, or sa Cebuano, yung sulom nga ang dahilan niya na kung bakit dapat maalis yan sila, wala yan sila sa loob, kasi during harvest kung ma-distract yan sila, ang response nila ay mag-ihi sila. So yung ihi nila ay nakakasunog sa balat ng mangga, mag-iitim yung mangga. So instead na madala pa natin sa export or madala pa natin sa local market, madidisplay doon sa market, hindi na tatanggapin. Even the processor, hindi na rin tatanggap kasi nasusunog na yung balat. So may dalawa pang spray. So dalawang spray at age of 75 to 85 days. So right after sa 85 days, stop na tayo mag-spray doon. Malapit na tayo mag-harvest. Ang maturity period ng mangga na i-harvest dito sa area ko, or depende sa area kasi, mag-start ako mag-harvest 105 to 110. Depende na sa area. Sa ngayon, ako'y dahil every month ako may harvest, nakipag-ano ako sa company na ngayon may isa kasing Japanese national na nagpatayo ng pagawaan o planta ng mangga doon sa Davao. Ngayon, yung Nakasin. Kaya ako po'y nagsusupply doon sa kanila. Ang Nakasin po ay isang Japanese company na sinusupplyan ko. Sa ngayon, ang mangga natin, ipoprocess nila. Pagkatapos, papadala sa Japan. Every month, last month, November 15 to November 20, nag-harvest ako ng 50 tons. Doon ko na sinusupply sa Nakasin. By this December 27 to 29, may harvest na naman ako at sa January, sa Nakasin pa rin. Yung specs ng Nakasin ay 180 grams. So, yung hindi na matatanggap ni Nakasin, yun yung pinoprocess namin kasi may processing plant din kami. Ina-assist kami ng DOST, ina-assist din kami ng paano makakuha ng mga upgrade. Ina-upgrade kasi yung namin, mga gamit namin doon. Kaya pag hindi makuha sa Nakasin, hindi papasok sa specification grams nila, size, kami na magpo-process. So nakapalabas kami doon. Ang produkto ni Gabriel ay mango jam, mango wine, mango vinegar, mango puree, tsaka mango concentrate. So sa ngayon, kasi meron na tayong dried machine, maybe next product ay lalabas na yung dried mango natin. So yun lang muna mga kaibigan, yun yung mga success story ng Gabriel. Maraming salamat po at magandang araw.
Ang ibabahagi po namin sa inyo ngayon ay patungkol sa Mango Canopy Management. Ito po ay pag-aayos ng canopy architecture ng puno ng mangga. Mango in the country has been allowed to grow unlimited. Horizontally, palapad po. Then vertically, pataas po. To the point na umabot na hindi na makapagbigay ang punong mangga ng saktong kalidad at dami ng bunga. Akala kasi ng karamihan, the bigger the tree, the more income. Sa ngayon, alam na natin na ito ay mali. No? Kaya na-implementar po ang Canopy Management Project. Component po ito ng malaking project para po sa mangga. The project was to provide and support, and be able to help the mango growers in the region. It was funded by Australian Center for International Agricultural Research or ASIAR, in collaboration po with Picard UST sa Davao region, with the aim to improve the productivity and fruit quality of mango. Ang focus po nito is i-rehab ang ating mga unproductive mango trees because of overlapping canopies. Ang canopy management po kasi, it's not merely adapting the pruning technique. It is also a combination of several practices. Una, canopy architecture, titingnan po siya. Pangalawa, nutrient management. Pangatlo, epekto po ng light interaction. And pangapat po is pest management. So ito pong lahat ay makikita nyo at maririnig nyo po ngayon sa araw nito. Ang magbibigay po sa atin ng mga resulta po ng mga researches, si Dr. Batocoty. Kasama ko po siya sa Davao del Sur State College. And then, farmer din po siya, nagtatanim din po siya ng mangga. Ako po si Grace Caballero ng Davao del Sur State College. Ang pangatlo po na magbibigay sa atin po ng paliwanag or mga pagpapakita kung ano pong ginawa niya sa canopy management ay si Alan Garden na siya po ang una na may-ari ng area na kung saan yung research po ay ginawa. Makikita po ninyo ang resulta after matapos po yung research namin sa canopy management sa kanyang farm, ano pong nagawa niya, and ano pa ang kanyang maitutulong sa mga marami pong natulungan na rin po niya na nag-adapt po ng canopy management. So sa susunod po, ibibigay ko po sa inyo si Dr. Eddie D. Batocoty ng Davao del Sur State College po. Thank you.
Good day everyone. Today's lecture is about canopy management experience of mango growers in Davao del Sur. This project is in collaboration with Australian Centre for International Agricultural Research, DOST Picard, and of course, Davao del Sur State College, formerly Espamas Digos Campus. Some mango growers in the Philippines does not follow the concept of allotted space wherein trees are only allowed to grow up to the limits imposed by the distance of planting. Mango trees cultivated locally are allowed to grow indefinitely. Consequently, canopies overlap within a few years. Mutual shading by the overlapping canopies prevents any significant production such as that mango orchards become unproductive. Pruning as a technology has never been religiously practiced. Taller trees are very difficult to manage during spraying. It affects the sprayman's health. More waste of pesticides because droplets before it reaches the target area can be blown by the wind. Difficulty in bagging as well. These are only some examples of disadvantages in maintaining taller mango trees. The aim, why canopy management? This will improve the fruit quality, size, and yield by optimizing nutrition and canopy management. Specifically, 1. Optimize nutrition and canopy management techniques with the aim of improving fruit quality, size, and yield. 2. With the farmers to develop a nutrition and canopy management package that aims to improve fruit quality, size, yield, and efficiency of harvest. 3. Early establishment of training framework on the tree architecture, growth, and yield. To give you a simple description of mango trees being shy bearers, they respond well to pruning, which will make them regular bearers. Pruning mango trees, trying to maintain the height, improve air circulation, reduce pest and diseases incidence, thereby improve flowering and fruiting. Now to show you how we did the canopy management. The canopy management protocol involves first, removal of lower branches located 1 meter up the ground level in order to provide better airflow in and out and under canopy. It allows also easier management operations such as fertilizer application, irrigation, weeding, and etc. Next on the line is to do canopy clearing. That is removal of dead, sickly, intertwining branches to regulate microclimate within the canopy and removes habitat of pests and diseases. Next to be done is to opening of the center part of the canopy to allow light penetration, that removal of upright branches to open up 1 meter diameter Why 1 meter? This is to prevent light intensity shock and sun scalding of exposed branches. Second, opening of the next cropping period, then maintain the gap, that is to increase diameter to 2 meters. While opening the center of canopy, simultaneous, this will be side pruning by removing overlapping branches at 1 meter distance between side canopies at first, then another 1 meter next cropping. This distance will be maintained. This to allow light interception and natural airflow along sides of the canopy. Highest number of shoots, shorter days to shoot emergence, and longest shoots were evident in the canopy side open to light interception. Close-up picture showing new and healthy shoots. Healthy shoot means healthy fruits. Under canopy managed trees, higher number of heavier fruits were obtained and lowest number of small and deformed fruits. With 23% harvested fruits, no damage at full ripened stage. Percent damage is lesser on canopy managed trees. Percent damage at ripened stage is also lesser. Reduction and expenses. Treatment 1 on site soil analysis, 60.42%, while treatment 2, package of technology, reduced by 54.65%, and treatment 3, farmers practice, is 53.2%. The amount of fertilizer and labor cost is the prime factor for the reduction of cost. Yield per tree were highest in the canopy managed trees, with more or less 3 fruits per kilo on the average and less percentage of small sizes and deformed fruits. With the 3-year duration of tests from 2015 to 2017, there was a significant improvement on the fruit quality. At the 3rd year of the project implementation, good flowering performance per tree in all tested trees were observed. There was a good harvest with high-quality fruits. This was observed from Canopy Managed Garden Farm in Padada, Davao del Sur. This is how these farms look like 3 years after the project ended. Eventually, trees were reduced in height for easier management. This is from the Gardes Farm, Padada, Davao del Sur. Next is from Hilicami Farm at Magsaysay, Davao del Sur. Next from Batocoty's Farm in Davao City. The owner stands beside the mango tree for size reference. Still at Batocoty's Farm, showing canopy managed trees at flowering stage. Still at Batocoty's Farm, height reduction provides efficient pest control methods. This is all for the day. Mangga buhay, mangga salamat po.
Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat, mga kasama ko sa pagmamangga. Ako po si Mr. Alan Gardi, taga Padada, Barangay Isminya, Padada, Davao del Sur. Itong farm, nag-umpisa ito 1998. Nagtanim na ako ng mangga. Around 300 trees ito noon. Kasi ang ginamit ko LPM, Large Planting Material. So, nang umabot ito ng 4 na taon, napabunga na ito. Then, ang first income niya, pinatayo ko ng farmhouse. Then, after several years na sige yung pabunga, medyo palaki ng palaki ang gasto. Then, merong isang time na gasto na lang, walang income. So, ang ginawa ko, wala pa mang technology noon na canopy management, nagtining kami sa farm. Talagang pinutol yung puno. So, from 300 trees, naging 150 trees na lang ang naiwan. Nung naka-attend ako ng sponsor ng ECR, canopy management. So nakita ko doon ang advantages kung yung mangga mo ay mababa. Medyo mababa din ang cost of operation. So una, yung pag-canopy, kailangan pag-aralan mo kung ano yung tamang branches na tanggalin. Kasi hindi basta-basta lang na tanggalin mo siya, then iwan. Kailangan eksakto yung tanggal mo ng canopy. So, nung ginamitan namin ito ng BB Chinso, kasi marami, 150 trees yung canopy mo. Pero ang ginawa ko, kasi hindi pwede sa isang taon wala kang mapabunga, ang ginawa ko, nag-iwan ako, 7 linya man ito. Ang ginawa ko, nag-iwan ako ng 3 linya na pinabunga ko muna. Then yung 4 na linya, yun ang talagang drastic or pinutol ko talaga yung matataas na branch. Then after napabunga yung naiwan na 3 linya, so ang balak ko next year, kasi yung 4, ganito na siya ngayon ang kanyang physical appearance. After 2 to 3 years, ganito na siya. So kailangan ito naman, palitan naman ito, i-dwarf naman ito yung 3 linya, i-dwarf naman ito para yung 4 na linya, yun naman ang pwede gamitin for next production. Ang advantage ng canopy management, yung equipment mo na gagamitin, hindi na yung traditional na gagamit ka ng hose, power spray na hose. Yung ginagamit namin ngayon, mist blower. Meron kami mist blower na ginagamit. Mas mababa yung cost of operation. Nasa 50 to 60% ang mawala sa cost of operation mo pag mist blower na ang gagamitin mo. Meaning, malaki ang savings mo sa pesticides kung gumagamit ka ng pesticides. Then, yung pagbabag, hindi na critical yung tao na magbabag kasi mababa na yung mangga. No? Kaya yan ang isang advantage doon sa pag ang mangga mo na dwarf. Ayun. Kailangan lang na pag nag-dwarf ka, talagang tutukan mo, alagaan mo siya. Pag may bagong flashing, isprehan mo siya ng organic, yung trichoderma, nasubukan namin yun. So, organic. Organic mo lang para hindi masyado magasto. Then, pag may bagong dahon, bagong flash, ayun, isprehan mo ng organic na fungicide. No?
In terms of output set, anong difference?
Yung production naman niya, kasi hindi naman siya gaano pa malaki yung canopy. At least, hindi naman masyadong malaki din yung gasto mo, kikita ka pa rin. No? Kasi maliit lang yung cost of operation mo. Kasi mababa yung, imagine, meron kang 10 drum sa traditional na sprayer, yung hose ang gamitin. Pag gamitan mo yan ng mist blower, na lang, bali 5 hanggang 4 na drum na lang yung pwede mo magamit sa spraying. No? Pag yun ang gagamitin mo, yung mist blower, malaki talaga ang savings pag i-convert mo sa na-dwarf yung mangga, tapos yung equipment mo, na ginamitan mo na siya ng mist blower, mababa talaga ang cost. No? Then, yung sa production, yung ganito kalaki, nasa ito, kuminsan magbigay ito ng mga 100, 200 fruits, pero quality, malalaki. No? Ito, Meron nga kami na-document dito na lumampas kami sa 200, umabot pa siya ng 300 to 400 per tree. No? Yun ang isa namin na napansin din, yung mangga malaki. So, mamaya meron kaming isang area na merong ongoing, na merong ibabag na mangga, makita nyo mamaya doon sa isang area. So, naka-dwarf na yun. No? From ang height niya noon, ito, kung makita mo ito, doble ang taas niya. So ngayon, kalahati na lang nandun sa isang area. Yung canopy management or pruning, kailangan i-practice natin. Kasi yung proper ventilation sa mangga, pag nandyan yan, kahit nakapabunga tayo ng tag-ulan, talagang may chance tayo na makapalusot tayo o tutuloy yung ating pinabulaklak na mangga. Kailangan malinis yung dahon unang-una. Kasi yung isang farm na nahandle ko, malapit sa, adjacent lang dito sa farm ko, malapit sa Davao Sugar Central, meron akong record na well documented yun. 2003, napabunga ko yung 200 trees. Yung 200 trees, ano yun, ganito lang siya kataas, pero properly, siya, prone. Yung canopy sa ilalim, talagang true yung araw. Talagang tuloy-tuloy yung araw sa ilalim. So, nung pinabunga namin yun, 2003, June, tag-ulan yun. Pero, nakapalusot kami. Yung 200 trees, umani yun ng 42 tons. Yun, 200 trees. Recorded yun, well documented yun. Meron akong logbook noon, ano yung ginawa ko, ano yung mga observation ko nakita doon. Meron silang, yung may-ari mismo ng farm, nilagyan niya ng organic fertilizer. Yung cow at saka goat manure, sa canopy niya inilagay. So nag-back up na lang ako ng komersyal. Buti noon, mura ko yung fertilizer. Pero ngayon, medyo may kamahalan. So kailangan natin mag-modify. Kailangan natin ng other source of fertilizer. Kaya kailangan natin ng organic fertilizer. So yung nakita ko doon na makikinis yung mangga, kailangan yung dahon niya malinis, no? Halos wala siyang anthracnose na makita. So malinis. Kaya nga yung mangga ko nung pinitas namin yun, pagpitas nakasilyo kaagad, nilagyan ng silyo yung box. Kasi halos yung mangga nasa sport quality. So yun ang advantage pag meron kang canopy management, lusot yung araw, yung dahon mo bago, talagang malinis yung mangga na ma-produce mo. Kailangan mo talaga ang canopy management.
Thank you very much. That's the canopy management of Dr. Grace L. Caballero and Dr. Eddie Batocoty with their farmer, Mr. Alan Garden. Thank you very much for that. So at this point in time, we'll be viewing or watching another video about low-cost mango picker and nozzle sprayer by Dr. Roger C. Montepio, the technology generator and USEP faculty from University of Southeastern Philippines. And I'd like to tell you that the vlog on Mango Technologies by Mr. Ruben Gonzaga, the Agri Tayo Dito host, will be shown on December 16, 2021, still via Zoom and Facebook Live, and also on the closing ceremonies will be on December 17, 2021. Now let's watch this low-cost mango picker and nozzle sprayer for this video.
Hello, good day. to the production and profit losses. To address this, we can offer the cost-effective Mangifera technology or MangoFitek tools or devices. This technology helps improves the mango production and of mangoes from pre and harvesting stages. We developed the Y-type orchard spray nozzle to be used during pre-harvest, and the V-Sigpao, a mango mechanical fruit picker for harvesting. The technology simplifies and lessens human errors during the production and harvesting of mangoes. The Y-type orchard power spray nozzle facilitates efficient and effective spraying. Our technology tries to deliver a consistent, accurate solution to problem on pest infestations by introducing our Y-shaped spray nozzle mechanism. This system was developed to reduce, if not totally eliminated, the excessive application of spray solution in order to combat pests endangering our fruits and fruit trees. Now, as a result, it improves the uniformity of distribution and more effective in reducing pests. And also, it doubles the spraying capacity as compared with the conventional. It reduces spray chemical deposition into the operators, and also it reduces volume of spray solution losses due to runoff and drip-offs. The design consists of two nozzles with the direct nozzle, two orifice at the top, and one orifice or hole nozzle forming an angle of 45 degrees for wider swath width. We also highlight the capacity, but the capacity is that is 2.79 hectares per day capacity, but the capacity is again dependent on the training acquired by the laborers, which mean that the longer your experience of using the technology increases the capacity, and then in long run there's a chance of increasing that value 2.79. So that's it. And then we have also the comparison between the conventional and wise spray nozzle. Looking into the discharge, it's almost the same with the conventional. However, the swath width is twice as much, and then the same, almost half of the time per tree of spraying, and also the volume is much lower as compared to the conventional, and also the spray losses, volume spray losses is also way low, and we have one of the major advantage of this system is that application of spray solutions happen simultaneously both from the top of the leaves and the underside or upper half or to lower half of the canopy as shown in the picture. Figure. This approach greatly facilitates even distribution of spray solution by targeting for bigger trees, targeting the inner side of the canopy, that's 1/3 volume, and the outer side of the canopy, that's 2/3 volume for just one passing. And for smaller trees, targeting the upper half of the canopy, and that's the 2/3 volumes, and the lower half canopy, that's 1/3 volume in one passing. That's for smaller tree. And but for great or much larger tree canopy, we recommend for a big for a G spray pattern starting from the top and end with the bottom of the canopy. And that is our suggested spray operation pattern, which really reduce excessive volume of usage, and the duration of time to entirely saturate effectively the whole fruit tree canopy. This leads to less exposure of the operator from the spray solution, and less likely for the fruit trees to be oversaturated, thus preventing runoff or off-target and excessive drippings. So this is our power spray setting. We set the pressure at around, the pump pressure at around 300 to 350 psi, and the nozzle cap twist opening around 1/4 to 1/2 open, or that's 90 to 180 degrees twist from the type, and showing as is the suggested spray operation. Start at the violet color and going to yellow, and then going to red on the outer, so inner to outer. That's our pattern to minimize the spray deposition to the body of the sprayman. That's the suggested. And then as a result of this, low volume losses of spray solution with high field capacity, and we can help in reducing environmental degradation. And then we have our second tools or device, the Bisigpao mechanical mango fruit picker. Is easier to use and prevents oozing of latex. As a result, there is a lessened need for an extra step to wash off the stain, and it significantly reduces the latex stain by as much as 72%. And it is a replaceable pool, user-friendly and portable, simply pulling, and it is a gender-sensitive product design. Again, this is only the reduction of latex stain. However, in the long run, if you can really master or expert in using the design, this will the value again will be improved, or to much higher to 100% reduction. And then our technology. We introduce two models of Bisigpao mechanical fruit picker, the bladed trigger type and bladed pole type. Now, this mechanical fruit picker is easier to use and offers a direct and improved approach to solving latex stain and burn fruit pull problems, or fruit pulling problems. What is the added mechanism? The secret lies on the shearing mechanism, in which we design a cutting system by a razor-sharp blades which can cut the peduncle easily and efficiently. The Bisigpao configuration helps retain about 0.5 to 1 cm peduncle, stopping the incidence of latex flow. And the picking action can be done either manual pulling or using the trigger type. And we have also the specification. The weight is less than 1 kilogram during diameter, and the length. But again, this length is since it is replaceable, so this can be shortened or longer, much longer length. And the same, we place the capacity, but again, capacity is dependent on the person who mastered or used the devices. And some points of sustainability. The two technologies mentioned are developed just to simplify and lessen human errors during the production and harvesting of mangoes. Together with the adoption of these technologies, we aim to change the mentality of the farmers to target the global market with less input, less environmental impact, producing higher quality mangoes of greater market value. So our technology less runoff, safe to human health, less food waste, high value, less chemical usage, and economical. And then these are the team consist of agricultural engineers, chemical engineers, and computer engineers, no, who work hand in hand to address the said problems mentioned. No? And we have our techno transfer, also engineer Pilman P. Simpao, our tech transfer officer. For those who wants to become an investor, we prepare a 3-year financial plan, getting a market segment of at least 0.1% of the mentioned numbers, no, farmers. You can get a profit of ranging from 700,000 to 1.5 million. And if you are a client, so either an individual or association who will be using or adopting this technology, your per hectare savings will be around 20,000, 18,000 to 20,000, no, per tools or devices. That's around more or less 20,745 for a net savings, no, for using the wise spray nozzle and using the basic bow, a net saving of 18,700 per hectare. For fund raising options, our technology can be funded by future investors that would like to invest new technologies for their mango farms. Also, the university has an Agilab program, a technology business incubator established under USEP with funding from the USDP Shared that supports aspiring tech entrepreneurs through training, mentorship, and innovation programs. And for more information, you can contact us. We have the address, second floor, RD Building, Yusip Obrero, Davao City. And we have our telephone number, 082-227-9192. And we have our website, yusef.edu.ph, and our email ad, pttd@yusef.edu.ph. Thank you very much for listening. And I would like to acknowledge the University of Southeastern Philippines and the USDP card.
Thank you very much to everyone for watching. That's Dr. Roger C. Montepio, the technology generator and a USEP faculty. And his technology or his mango production enhancement was about the low-cost mango picker and nozzle sprayer. So after that, please keep your questions noted because we will entertain questions right after all these 4 videos will be played. And you can raise your questions after or raise your hand using our emoticon to ask the questions to our 4 speakers for this morning. And please stay tuned because we will have also a raffle game of 500 peso load to be given away to 10 participants who registered on Facebook and here on our Zoom teleconference. I guess we're ready. Our last video to be presented by Dr. Marilou M. Benitez, the Associate Professor 5 from Visayas State University, is about post-harvest management techniques. Let's all watch this.
A pleasant morning to each and everyone. I am Marilou M. Benitez from the Division of Post-Harvest Technology of the Department of Horticulture. This morning, I will discuss the mango post-harvest management techniques with you. In addition, I will also discuss the post-harvest strategies for preserving mango quality and lowering the post-harvest losses. Okay, before we get into the specifics, it's important to understand the benefit of properly harvested commodities in terms of minimizing the losses, increasing the product value, and ensuring a continuous supply of high quality commodities. Okay, and then for the high income and nutritious food crops are mostly the perishable commodities like the mango, like fruits mango, and the post-harvest is a crucial stage for the ensuring the product sellability and income. The capacity to sell a product is determined by the quality developed during the production and enhanced the post-harvest. Okay. So I would like to share to you some tips in handling the fruits or any other perishable crops. So first is harvest the commodities at the proper stage of maturity. Now this is very important to harvest at the proper stage of maturity. Different perishable commodities at different stages of maturity. So this is very important to harvest the proper stage because if not, uh, if less mature or partially mature, it will not last long, and it will also um, uh, affect the quality of the eating quality of the fruits, and it has a short shelf life. Do not expose the harvested products from the sun. So this is also very important to reduce the post-harvest deteriorations. Immediately after harvest, place the commodities in the coolest area to slow down the field heat from the commodities after harvest. And then protect the harvested product from the rain. So also this is there's a highly contamination of the product when you it also reduce the post-harvest losses. Be careful in handling the produce during harvesting, packing, loading, unloading, and storage. So what we call as the tender loving care of the perishable commodities is very important. Do not drop the fruits into the container. So dropping of the fruits after you harvest, some mechanical damages produce like cracking of the fruits, and then there's a leakage of the cracking, like the juice extract. I mean, after cracking, that's the source of food for microorganisms. So until higher post-harvest deteriorations of the commodities. Now, line bamboo baskets, kain, or crates, plastic crates, or I mean the baskets with banana leaves or newspapers or any other cushioning materials. Now, it can also reduce or slow down the field heat using the banana leaves. Pack only clean or disease or insect-free and injury-free products. So you have to separate. So sorting is very important also to remove the disease or damaged fruits from the healthy ones. Pack ripe fruits separate from the unripe ones. Okay, so do not mix together also with the diseased fruits. Um, Avoid overpacking or underpacking of the produce because practicing of overpacking resulted to the impact damages. So some of the commodities deform, crack, and also underpacking also can result to vibration damage. So this is very important. The containers must be just large enough and the contents light enough for easy handling. So use containers that are strong enough to protect the produce considering the volume to be transported and also the distance of travel. So use the rigid containers and also or a flexible containers for a long distance travel of the produce. Avoid too deep containers. Okay, so the tendency of this, if the deep containers, the tendency the commodities you'll trap after you harvest, so damage will occur. Keep produce away from engine exhaust. Why? Because the engine exhaust have higher ethylene, or this is what we call as stress hormones, or the stress ethylene that can trigger to ripen the commodities. Transport commodities preferably at noon or night when temperature is low. So this is very important. And then practice care when loading and unloading the containers. As I said, this is very important, or you have to do the tender loving care of the perishable commodities to have a long shelf life and to have a good quality, and with this assurance of the good quality.
Um, Sorry for the technical problem. I think Dr. Marilou and Benitez is present here in our Zoom.
Okay. Wait. Okay. So,
Can we request Ma'am Marilou Benitez to please turn on her camera? And
okay na? Ay.
Ma'am Marilou, we are requesting you to please, we are giving you the screen to share your slides and present it via live na lang po.
Okay. Just wait. Wait first.
It's okay, ma'am.
Present.
While Dr. Marilou and Benitez is preparing her presentation, everyone, please stay tuned because we will be having the question and answer portion after all these presentations. So all your questions, just keep it noted and posted so that we can have them answered by our speakers for this webinar on enhancement of mango production. And after the question and answer, the open forum will be our 10 virtual raffle games of 500 peso gold will be given to the participants who joined our Zoom and who registered via Facebook Live.
I-share pa na ko. Oh. Dara.
Let's just wait for a few seconds because Dr. Marilou Benitez is now preparing her screen in the presentation. And we would like to inform all our speakers for this morning, Mr. Rickson, C. Olympus, Dr. Grace Caballero, and Dr. Eddie Batocoty, and Dr. Roger C. Montepio, that after all these presentations, please turn on your camera so that you will be put on the spotlight to answer the questions from our participants. I think the screen is now ready for Dr. Benitez.
Paano na presentation? No.
Okay, I think the screen is now ready. I'm giving the screen now to Dr. Marilou Benitez for the post-harvest management techniques, ma'am.
Okay. Once again, hello, good morning. Sorry for the technical problems. Now, this morning, I would like to share to you about the post-harvest management techniques in mangoes. By the way, I am from the Division of Post-Harvest Technology of the Department of Horticulture. Now, to start with, we have to know first the importance of the importance of proper harvested commodities that to have a minimal losses to increase the product value and also have assured the continuous supply of good quality commodities. And also, since the post-harvest technology concerned more on the harvested products and particularly on the perishable commodities, which are most of the perishable commodities are high in income and nutritious food crops. And for the post-harvest is critical stage where the product sellability and also our income are being assured. For the product sellability depends on the quality developed during production and enhance the post-harvest handling of the commodities like mango. Now, I'd like to share you some tips in handling the fruits. First, it is very important to know first the proper stage of maturity. So we have to harvest the commodities at the proper stage of maturity. It's because of if we will harvest at less mature or partially matured, it has a shorter shelf life and also easily deteriorate of the produce and also low food quality of these fruits. And do not expose harvested products from the sun. So because this is very critical, perishable commodities, so it could be after harvest, you should place in a coolest area and protect also from the produce from rain, because there is some acid rain that can damage for the fruits. And be careful in handling and the produce during harvesting, of course, and what we call as the tender loving care. So do not drop the fruits into the container, because once you drop the fruits into the container, especially for the deep containers, there's a tendency that the fruits will bruise or some mechanical damages like cracking of the fruits and that the crack or the juice leak, that is the food of the microorganisms, so it can also enhance the post-harvest deterioration of the produce. So lined bamboo baskets or the kaing or the plastic crates or the boxes, banana leaves or newspaper. This is very important to, or any other cushioning materials, very important to protect the commodities. And segregate or pack only the clean, to separate the damaged and damaged commodities. Also the ripe commodities should be separated from the mature green or unripe stage of the commodity. Avoid overpacking or underpacking of the product, because in overpacking of the commodities that it can also impact damage, and underpacking, the result of that is vibration damage. The diffraction, it can create a heat between the fruits, so it can also damage the fruit. The containers must just large enough, so not the containers that enough for the container, the commodities, and also a lightweight containers. I use containers that are strong enough to protect the produce, considering the volume transported, also for the distance of travel. So avoid too deep containers. Keep produce away from engine exhaust. Now the engine exhaust, that is the can produce a high, the stress hormones, high stress ethylene. They can enhance the ripening of the commodities. So transport the commodities preferably at early in the morning or nighttime when the temperature is very low. And then practice care when loading and unloading. So these are the tips for in proper handling of the commodities. So the picture shows here the mango bruising of the fruit due to improper handling of the produce at harvesting, and mostly the dropping of the commodities very common. So as I said, the fruits from the juice of this is the food for the microorganisms. And this one is the result of the latex burn. So with this, where it's very important also, this is a critical for the fruit quality. So this is prone for the disease development. As I mentioned earlier, we'll have to separate the green one and the ripe ones, the mango, so that for the, during market time, and also it can also this mango is a climacteric, so it can easily ripe for the unripe mangoes or any fruits. And for using the packaging materials, so I mentioned this, we should use the cushioning materials to protect the commodities. For the graded and packaged pack of the commodities, it's one form to less problem in the. And this is picture is this is the improper handling of the commodities. Since, can you imagine the mangoes is highly perishable crops, so damage will occur. And then this is the picture shows the peak after being dropped. So this is the result, the decay and insect infestation problems. Also for the commodities that contact to the soil surface, particularly in the peduncle with presence, the latex, where the latex flows. So that is very critical for the increases the infections and deterioration of the fruits. So this one is the result of the sunburn. Okay, so, and also the dropping of the fruits on the ground. So this is very important for using, the collection of boxes like plastic crates or boxes, cartons is very important. Enough for the commodities, not using the container or overpacking of the commodities. So this is very important. Okay, so for the mango, this mango is one of the high valued commodities in the Philippines, and this is one of the what we call as the third in Philippines. This is a third for the volume of production next to banana and also for the pineapple. In terms of this is really high for the export. The high, high in the most valuable for the export of this Carabao mango, and in international, this is what called as the Super Manila. Now, another variety of mangoes is the left side, the Namdokmai variety, variety of from Thailand. This is I use the research during my MS. I work on the hot water treatments to the ripening and also to different enzymes responsible for the ripening and softening and also for the disease development. Okay, so anyway, I will discuss on the hot water treatment. Actually, this is also popular in Thailand. The Namdokmai, this is similar to the Carabao mango. And also for, this is also the same with the Carabao mango that is very delicious with the sticky rice and coconut cream. But this fruit is highly perishable crops, and once it is already ripened, so followed to the softening due to the higher, increase the polygalactoronase enzymes and also the 15-methyl esterase responsible for suffering. And once it is softened, it will develop the disease. So it increased the diseases like the stem and rot and also the anthracnose. The most common is anthracnose. And also this one is it enhanced the enzyme activities like the phenylammonium and beta-glucanase. The favor for the disease development thus reduce the post-harvest losses of mango. So as I said, the most prevalent disease is the anthracnose, it's called as the Colotyticum glyceridis, and this is a latent infection, meaning you cannot observe this infection at the matured grain stage. So after harvest, disease develop to decrease the disease resistance, and it will further develop the post-harvest infection when the fruit started to ripe. So this is what called as a latent infection. So mostly the display of the mangoes now at the market, like in the domestic market, there are a lot of presence of the Colotyticum glyceridis of the fruit surface of mango, but still very expensive. So this is the anthracnose decay, and the near the peduncle is the stem and rot. You cannot, unlike in anthracnose that only at the peel, but in stem and rot, once you open this one, damage already inside the fruit. So for this assessment of harvest maturity, so I think this is the stats of the post-harvest management for management techniques for the mango. So first is harvest as the proper stage of maturity. So we have visual indices like the presence of the shoulder. Anyway, I will show you later. And also the physical indices, like we have to do the flotation method using the water. And for the chemical indices, like the measuring of the acidity and also the total sugar content, and physiological indices and ethylene production is with the presence of or higher respiration rate and ethylene production. And for the computable indices like counting the number of days from days flower inductions, as what the farmer cooperator mentioned, that the harvested start from 105 days. So from 105 days, 110 days, and 115 days. Okay, so this is what I mean, the presence of shoulder. This one is the immature fruits, and this is also, this one is the presence of shoulder, and this is what the matured fruit. So another, this is the indication for a proper stage of maturity, like the breaker stage and also the peel and the pulp color. Okay, again, this one also for the minimum stage of harvest maturity, the breaker stage, the second row, and also the peel color and also the pulp color. Okay, so here the ripening behavior, physical-chemical characteristics, and the quality of the ripe carabao mango fruits harvested at the 3 maturity stages. Really, it matters on the quality, it matters on the physical-chemical characteristics, like days to reach to ripe, yellow change of yellow color or ripeness, like in 105 days, 9.1 days, 100 days from flower induction is 7.8, and then the lowest is, the shorter is the 115 days. But in 115 days also, there's also a advantage, like it enhances the total sugar content and also the carotenoids, the vitamin C, high nutritive value, and also more intense pulp color for the 115 days of harvest. Now, some of the post-harvest operation in mango, like this already mentioned the previous speakers, the harvesting system, you have to consider the methods of harvesting and the time of harvesting. The time of harvesting, at least mid-morning or late in the afternoon, where the turgor pressure of the latex flow is lower. So why? It's because very critical for the latex burn on the sports surface. That's the start of the disease. Okay, so using of these the picking poles when you harvest the mangoes, and with the knives and also ladder. But for those the taller trees. Okay, so this is how they harvest, and they use some picking tools and also some knives. This is how to careful harvesting. Now this is the result of the drop fruits. This is a major source of the insect infestation. These operations are in Leyte, the mango. Now, as you observe, the careful harvesting, the picking tools, and also the baskets or the rattan baskets. And once it is already harvested, so sorting or separating of or sorting of the damaged or the diseased fruits be separated from the healthy ones. And as you observe here, not overpacking, so then also enough for the crates. So this is the example of other methods of harvesting, but like they're using of the baskets also and removing of the paper bag for the fruits. This is how to do the for the latex drain to stop the latex flow and also to prevent the latex burn for the fruits of mango. Okay, so this one is only I showed you only. This is the Namdokmai where I work in Thailand, and also this is I followed some practices to reduce the latex drain. The latex. Okay, so this one is the result of the latex drain. I mean, latex already drained on the fruit surface. So this one. So you see, as you observe, even if matured green, they're not already because of the latex stain. So sizing is the next operation in the post-harvest. This is another variety. So I'll show you only how the sizing of the mangoes. And then sorting and grading and packing ready for transportation by boxes. And this is the pictures on the mango packing. Now let's come now for the post-harvest treatments or some other post-harvest interventions like the hot water treatment. Now what could be the benefits of this hot water treatment? It was inhibited or it reduced the respiration rate and ethylene production, thus delayed the ripening, and also decreased the polygalacturones and pectin metal enzymes, induced the accumulation of beta-glucanase and the disease enzymes, the PEL activity, and also increase the protein synthesis of the fruit. So this hot water tank is the project from the UST. I just show you the hot water tank for the capacity of this hot water tank around 5 to 10 tons per day. And then also we improvise for our research, like for the hot water tank, and we have the cooling tank. So we conducted different hot water temperature tolerance, and we established the 50 to 55 degrees Celsius, or 53 is can reduce the disease incidence. So this is how to do. So you have to put the same The same process for the hot water tank project from the DIST. And the result of the effects on the hot water treatment for Carabao mango really can reduce, delay the ripening, reduce the disease incidence than the untreated ones. And also the same is for when you inoculate some okay, so this is the preheat. So before the proper hot water temperature tolerance around 51 to 53 degrees Celsius, there's a preheat of around 40 degrees Celsius. Heated fruits also can reduce the late ripening.
Ilabda pa niya akong cellphone. Asa naman ni Dapit?
And also this is the result for the hot water treatment. So as you observe, it can reduce the incidence and the mature green states. This one is the chilling compartments around 8 to 10 degrees Celsius can also delay and can enhance the color quality of these after 10 days. So this is the other varieties conducted, the research from abroad. So the cute mangoes, presence of the disease like anthracnose compared to the heated ones. For the hot water treatment for mangoes in Thailand varieties, now I work on the 50 degrees Celsius for delaying the ripening. And for the 55 degrees Celsius hot water treatment, it can also, I work this for the disease development, where I studied on the production of the disease, the enzymes responsible for the softening and also the disease incidence. So as you observe here, the picture shows here that with inoculation at the 50 and then hot water to 55 degrees Celsius reduce the disease development, and both the without inoculation and with inoculation at 55 degrees Celsius. So for the textural analysis for the hot water treatment, the heated fruits retain the higher firmness compared to the no hot water treatments. The blue color is the no hot water treatment, so lower firmness compared to the heated mangoes. Again, as I mentioned earlier, this can reduce the later ripening for the heated fruits than the no hot water treatment. The same is true with the disease incidence. So the result here reduce the disease incidence, the disease development compared to the no treatment. And for same with the disease percent anthracnose. Okay, this one I showed only the hot water. The same with my study, but this one is 50 to 55 degrees Celsius, 5 to 15 minutes, the range of for the disease control treatments for Carabao mango. And I studied for the Namdokmai variety in Thailand. Okay, so some common post-harvest diseases, like you cannot control the hot water temperature. So this one is the heat damage, and also for the post-harvest disorders, like when you store the commodities, the chilling compartments, but you did not check the proper temperature. Now, actually, the mango is a tropical crop, and inside of the compartment is around less than 8 or 10 degrees Celsius, less than 8 degrees Celsius. It can favored for the chilling damage. But once you conducted, work on the hot water treatment, and then you store at the chilling compartments, but you have to check the temperature acceptable for the tropical crop in 18 to, I mean, once it is a hot water treated, so it can also survive. I mean, overcome the chilling damage at around 8 to 10 degrees Celsius. So this is also the physiological disorder after the treatment, like the hot water, like the internal breakdown, and this is the internal breakdown, but this is a physiological disorder. But in terms of international markets, again, this is the problem because this is inside of the fruit, it cannot be observed. So I think this is the result when you did not control or manage the temperature and also the doing the hot water tolerance. Chilling, so this here, the chilling injury symptoms of mangoes and the hot water injuries I mentioned. Now is the grading for Philippine mango for export. It depends on the variety, and for the export quality, it grades like the fruit size, the fruit weight, and the color maturity. Now for this one, for the bigger size, mango fruits take 2 to 4 days more time ripening than the smaller ones. So that's why this is very important that one of the post-harvest operations, you have to separate or segregation or sizing of the mangoes or harvested mangoes. Now for the export quality for rates according to the fruit weight based on the categories, like category 1 is considered as the high, the lowest, 200 to 250 grams, but still acceptable. Category 2, 251 to 300 grams fruit weight per fruit, and 300 to 350 grams per fruit for category 3. This is very acceptable for the international standards for mango. Now, for the I explained on the delay in the ripening. Now we have how to induce the uniform ripening of the mangoes. Actually, from 105 days is acceptable for the commercial, and just applied 750 parts per million or 1.8 millimeters per liter of etril. Now, etril is available. This is for flower induction, so you can apply to have a uniform ripening. 105 days can have also 105 days, start from 105 days. But for the higher number of days to harvest, like 115 days, so lower than that, like 500 parts per million to have a uniform ripening of the mangoes. But when you will not apply some ripening agents, it will not ripen uniformly. And another is by using the calcium carbide. Now take note, calcium carbide, there's a proportion for these, like 20 grams per 20 kilograms basket of fruit. 15 to 25 grams per 15 fruits for 4 days. So exposure of this calcium carbide 4 days. So packaging operations now. Next is the packaging operations. What would be the packaging materials to use after you grade? So to wrap the fruits individually to avoid bruising, so mechanical damages, and pack fruits with containers lined with tissue or newspaper. And also use new, clean, and good quality packaging material. Okay, so here, some cushioning material, some shredded papers to put inside of the package to prevent the damages of the mangoes. And polyethylene, although low density polyethylene lining has also been beneficial to during storage of the mangoes. And then wrapping of fruits individually. So this is how to do or using the packaging and separation. There's a division or the inside of using the shredded paper and individually packed inside of the the boxes. Also with presence of holes to provide ventilation in the package. Mango packages commonly used is the usually one-piece carton and is packed in a single layer. Okay, so the packages should be well ventilated, but with a sufficient stacking, like using the pallets during ready for transportation. Okay, so this one, the picture shows here ready for transportation of mango fruits. And you have to check from time to time the temperature for around 19 to 21 degrees to maintain the quality of the fruits. Okay, so for the corrugated carton, this is very kind of for export for mango. Light in weight, result in better handling of workers and less expenses. So for storage, for mango fresh fruit storage, this is very essential for prolonging the shelf life of the fruits, regulating or to their supply to the market, and also for transportation to long distances. Now, this is very important for during the storage for the transportation of the mangoes. Mature greens can be kept at room temperature for about 4 to 10 days, depending on the variety. And then for export, okay, so harvested fruits are pre-cooled to 10 to 12 degrees Celsius and store have to consider the higher percent relative humidity. Anyway, I will show you discuss also about the pre-cooling of the commodities. Here, okay, so far this is the result of the calcium carbide treatment for the mangoes of the different maturity, like the peel color, quality, the sweetness, the overall flavor, and the total sugar content, and the percent full yellow. Of course, 115 days enhance the full yellow color, and also enhance also the peel color quality, the sweetness, also the overall flavor or the sensory quality, and also for the sugar, total sugar content. So the proper stage of maturity in terms of the nutritional and fruit maintaining the good quality is 115 days is I think for recommended also. Okay, so this one, the ripening condition for mangoes, like when you apply, this is for ethylene concentration around 100 to 150 ppm, or 100 ppm around 0.1% of the ethylene, and exposed to 24 hours, so 12 to 24 hours. So that's how to enhance or to have a uniform ripening of the mangoes. Okay, so those are the changes for associated with mangoes and skin color, the flesh color, and also it decreased and first firmness, but increase the juices. Okay. So this is I'll show you only the color index of the ripe stage of the mango, but color index 1, the green color is what we call as the mature green. Mature green, breaker stage for color index 2, and then the full yellow is the color index 6. So this is another one of the storage fabricated here to the issue. This is the evaporative cooling condition. Actually, this one is already conducted and already extend to like in Cambodia. This is a Cambodian. My classmates, they use already the evaporative color for vegetables, but this one also can use for mango, but in a short duration. Why? because the principle of this evaporative cooler is that there's the jute sack is wet and there's a water here in out, and then once the water dries up, the vicinity inside of the evaporative cooler, the heat from the environment inside of the environment also in the fruit will dissipate once the water dries up, so it maintains the coolness. But the problem of this is that the higher relative humidity that's favor for the disease development. But in terms of the enhancement of the fruit quality, this is good for a short stories of for the mango. This one is I'll show you on the study of using the different paper bag like brown paper, newspaper, and then the result is really it's all affect the color quality. I think this is the thickness and the type of the paper bag. So okay, I mentioned this already. And this one is the result of the experiment, like using the calcium carbide. You observe here, this one treated with the ethyl 1.8 ml per liter. So you observe a uniform ripening of mango, and then in calcium carbide, and no ripening for the control after 8 days of storage. So for the field handling and transportation, so this one, okay, so these are the operations, still operation for ready for transport. And this is the before transportation, can also extend the shelf life or maintain the good quality of the mango is under good pre-cooling. Now we have the hydrocolling, air cooling, but we tried on the hydrocolling. So we conducted the carabao mango for pre-cooling around 8 to 10 degrees Celsius with water, with ice, and then we checked the temperature and also pre-cooled around 8 to 10 hours. But once you do the pre-cooling, no, actually the pre-cooling is the purpose of that is to slow down the field heat of the after harvest, and also it will stop the respiration process to prolong the shelf life of the commodities. Okay, so this is the operation still on the ready for transportation. Take note, and this one is for the color index for. This one is the study of the Dr. Bayogan in Mindanao. Okay, like they simulated the mangoes and the different heights, the drop heights. Now she observed higher mechanical damages and also higher weight loss. For the higher the dropping height, the more bruise, and also increase the weight loss of the mangoes. So these are the result of the simulations. And so it's very important to careful harvesting, and also for mangoes after ripening, and for the fruit drop, only 4% for export quality. And bruising damage during harvest may not be obvious until after the fruit has ripened. Bruised areas will stay green. Okay, so as you observe, the bruised area still green color, and also after the rest of the fruit has ripened. So I think that's also the problem for when you not carefully harvest the mangoes. Okay, so these are our work on the effect of pre-cooling and hot water treatment of mango. So as you observe, after 8 days of storage, this is the result. So some post-harvest techniques like pre-coat, different pre-cooling of using the 8 to 10 degrees Celsius with ice water and dipping for 6 hours, pre-cooled for 6 hours, 8 hours, and 10 hours. And for the hot water treatment, like for 53, the established hot water temperature reduce the disease incidence. So this one for the pre-coat, okay, so it can maintain the good quality of the fruits. So it also enhance the visual quality rating. It's still in higher visual quality rating for the sprinkled fruits and treated hot water treated fruits than the new treatment. Okay, for the shelf life, it's also higher, much higher than the control for the pre-coat and also for the hot water treatments. Okay, so again, for the softening, it reduced the softening index and also for both for the pre-coat and for the hot water treated fruits. Also, reduce the disease incidence. And for the total titratable acidity and also the pre-coat is much higher at the day zero or freshly harvested, and also in hot water treatment, but it increased the sugar content after 8 days of storage. For the vitamin C, actually no significantly difference among the pre-coat and the hot water treatment of the mango. Okay, so I think and this is the end of my topic. And thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Thank you very much, Dr. Marilou and Benitez. The Associate Professor 5 of BSU for the post-harvest management techniques. Thank you so much, ma'am. Okay. So at this juncture, we will now be entertaining all the questions from our participants. These questions are thrown for our speakers. First, we have Mr. Rickson C. Olympus, the farmer, cooperator, and owner of Gabriel Mango and Fresh Fruit Products. He talked about the good agricultural practices on mango. And Dr. Grace L. Caballero and Dr. Eddie Batocoty for the Canopy Management. And Dr. Roger C. Montepio, the technology generator from USEP, about the low-cost mango picker and nozzle sprayer. And lastly, Dr. Marilou M. Benitez for the post-harvest management techniques. So may I request everyone, all our speakers, to turn on your cameras so that you will be pinned on the spotlight of our Zoom. And for our participants, you may just use the reaction or raise hand reaction on our Zoom so that you can throw your questions to our speakers, and also you can type it on our chat box so that it will be entertained and read. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone who stayed right with us today. And this Zoom teleconference is also live streamed on our Facebook page for Fiesta. We are requesting Dr. Eddie Batocoty to please turn on your camera so that you will be pinned on our spotlight area. We also would like to request, Ma'am Grace Caballero, to turn on your camera.
Magkatabi kami.
Okay.
Ni Dr. Batocoty.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. So you're just in one device. Thank you. So let's check the chat box if there are questions. Okay. I think this question is for Dr. Roger C. Montepio. This question comes from Christine Banalo. She is asking about, are the YZ sprayer nozzle and V Sigpao already available in the market? And what's the level or status of adoption among mango farmers? Sir Montepio?
Thank you, Ma'am Christine. Yes, during the opening of this Mango Fiesta, one of the local fabricator in Davao City signed contract on licensing agreement on the Bisig Pau and Y nozzle. So this will be made available now. But as to the details, I don't have. Maybe it could be available through order basis, and for more details, they can if they are interested, they can contact our knowledge transfer division at tttd@usip.edu.ph, or we have also the number of our TTTD. As to the status of the adapters, there were already numbers of adapters of the tools or devices, especially mango growers within the region, region 11. And then meron ding nag-order sa amin from mango growers from General Santos City, or our region 12, part of region 12. And also in Luzon, when SMARDEC joined and during the National Science Week, all displayed samples were sold out, but we don't have the follow-up data on Luzon, if really utilized for mango, because one of the advantage of the tools, the devices, in the case of Y nozzle, is that it can be used or also suitable to use in any type of tree orchards, such as mango, lanzones, rambutan, and pomelo. And in the case of the Bisig Pau, it is a multi-commodity fruit picker device, which can be used for aside from harvesting mango, also rambutan and mangosteen. And there were orders that we sent in Luzon na hindi siya ginamit doon sa mango, ginamit siya sa rambutan and mangosteen. So yun yung status as to the utilization sa Luzon na part. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Montepio, for your answer. So to all our participants, we can still rewatch this video on our Facebook, so that you will be you can see there the contact information of our speakers. Thank you so much. Now we have another question from Marte Altamirano. This question is for Mr. Rickson. How much is the cost of production on mango fruit?
Umaga sa lahat ng nanonood, sa lahat ng sumusubaybay sa programang ito sa Postharvest. Regarding doon sa tanong na how much is the cost of production sa mango fruit, ang masabi ko po doon ay depende sa result ng pag-i-induce sa mangga. Depende din sa kalaki ng mangga na ini-induce natin, pinapabulak natin. And depende, ang dami kasing ikonsidera natin bago tayo maka-costing kung ilan ang magagasto natin hanggang sa makalabas na ang bunga ng mangga. Lalo na kung palaging masama ang panahon, I mean, palaging umulan. Kasi pag umuulan, lalo na kung during sa full bloom, ayun, bombarded tayo doon sa pag-spray. Kasi ako po ay binabase ko po sa makita ko sa infestation, sa lahat-lahat ng epekto na epekto sa masamang panahon. Kaya hanggat hindi tayo makabalot, hindi ko pa maikustar kung ilan ang magagasto. Edad, ikonsidera natin edad at saka laki ng mangga na i-induce natin sa masusurvive na bulaklak during from start inducing to full bloom hanggat sa maka-fruit setting siya, hanggat sa ibabalot na siya. So mostly ang sa akin na practice ay makabigay ako ng costing sa isang puno. It's either grafted, edad 10 years up to 20 years or centennial tree, yung mga malalaking puno. 20 to 30 sa grafted or 60 years old above sa centennial tree, katulad nung nakita nyo kanina sa mga nano namin sa farm ko. Makabigay ako ng cost mostly pag naibabalot ko na yung mangga ko. Kasi optional ako palagi sa operasyon ko. Kaya hindi natin matansya kung ilang costing. At least ang sa amin, ang sa pag-maintain ko ng farm ko, naka-ready na lahat ng mga dapat gagamitin kong chemicals, lahat ng mga inputs. Meron ding time na hindi maubos yung gina-prepare ko for that area, for that puno. Meron ding maubos, kulang pa dahil sa masamang panahon. So, ang maibigay ko na answer diretso sa tanong na yan, sa question. Makabigay ako ng costing pag naibalot na yung mangga. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you so much, Mr. Rickson, for that answer. Now we have a question from Rose and Aya. This was posted by Sir Reuben Herbas on our Facebook Live. I think this question is for everyone. Sa nakikita ko, many practices, some gagamit ng full synthetic. Is it safe for human consumption? So, may I ask, may I ask Dr. Grace Caballero to start answering this question first, please?
Okay, Sir Ed Batocoty will share his experience on that, but as initially, pesticides now used are selective, so meron naman tayong technology now on how to really keep our food safe, even with the use of pesticides, because there are no pesticides. This time, the pesticides that are in the market are all certified by the Food President Pesticides Authority. Mr. Ed, would love to add on it.
Now, with regards to the productions of crops, mostly nowadays are using pesticides. plantations, like other farms also using pesticides. And I think it is safe because most of our product now in the market, usually the farmers or even the big companies are using pesticides, but these pesticides are approved by the FDA. So meaning these are still safe. So I think that's all.
Okay. Thank you so much for those answers, Dr. Grace and Dr. Eddie. Now let us hear from Dr. Montepio for your answer on that question. Is it safe? Oh, hindi pala sila gumagamit.
Okay. Actually, I'm not really expert on the pesticides, but that's why we develop this our technology in order for yung sa delivery, efficient delivery. Okay, lahat naman ng all chemicals, if it is not used properly, actually it's not safe, especially if it exceeds the limits. So yun lang yung masasabi ko. Pag talagang sobra, kaya yung technology namin na spray nozzle is really to develop is intended to develop to reduce yung excessive na application of chemicals. So yun lang yung masasabi ko.
Thank you, Sir Roger, for that answer. Now let's hear the perspective of Mr. Rickson C. Olympus for that question.
Regarding doon sa sinabing halos lahat ay mga synthetic chemicals yung ginagamit natin sa pagpabunga ng mangga, ang masabi ko po ay very safe to human. Kasi kami na nagagamit ng mga chemicals na ganyan, at age of 60 days, binabaging po namin ng mangga. Binabalot namin ng mangga. So 60 days at 105 to 110 days bago i-harvest. Ang haba na ng panahon na hindi siya may sprayan. So ang ginawa na lang namin doon, siyempre, ang withdrawal period niya ay 14 to 21 days lang. So meron tayong more than 40 to 45 days bago i-harvest. So safety tayo doon. Tsaka right after the harvest, pa natin doon sa hot water treatment, which is re-release yung chemicals doon. So yun ang masabi ko. Very safe to human.
Thank you, Sir Rickson. And now, we have a question here.
Can I add a little? Lloyd, can I add a little? The canopy management, was implemented because one is the result of the study has shown an improvement, on the use of pesticides. The canopy managed trees had used less pesticides, although all the pesticides that are being used are recommended by the Fertilizer and Pesticides Authority. So we can say that it is safe for humans. But using the canopy management, wherein what do you call it? There is science behind the utilization of energy coming from the environment to prevent the existence of so many pests and diseases within the tree. Then it would provide us, it would provide the mango growers to reduce the use of excessive synthetic pesticides. So it would help on the reduction of the use of pesticides in the control of pests and diseases. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Grace. Now we have a question for Dr. Marilou Benitez. Sam, their question is, do you still monitor or contact the mango farmers under your project? And do you have any data or update on the extent of the reduction in percentage in post-harvest losses among farmer beneficiaries?
Okay. Regarding the questions on the project, actually we already terminated our projects just many years ago, and we follow up some research more on the graduate students. And for talking about the questioning about the what's that, the data, for the extent of the data. Concerning on that, we don't have any more. Just terminated our project. Project was terminated many years ago, and now, as I said, just a follow up of the research by the student research.
Thank you, Ma'am Marilou. Now we have a question here from Mr. Jacob Clapano. What if the fruits are already infected by post-harvest pests in the area? Is there any significant damage to the commodity after the submersion to heat or cold treatment? I think this is for Dr. Marilou Benitez.
Pardon, please. Questions? Can you state the problem again? The question again.
The question, ma'am, is what if the fruits are already infected by post-harvest pests in the area? Is there any significant damage to the commodity after the submersion to heat or cold treatment?
Okay. So for the damage from the field, we can that is the pre-harvest damage, not the post-harvest pest. That is the actually for the post-harvest, start from the harvesting. Really, after harvesting, we segregate already for those damaged already or infected from the post-harvest. Now, we did not. The post-harvest operations start for the segregation at the farm. So, really, I cannot get because it is a post-harvest pest, but post-harvest pest is I think that is in the field pest or some diseases. Now, for the techniques for the hot water treatment can also reduce the aside from the disease development. And for the post-harvest pest, there are other types of the the heat treatment, like the before heat treatment, can also reduce some of the the pest. Because after harvest, we cannot see. You mean the harvested product? There is once you store the commodities, there is a pest develop. Yes, it can also reduce some of the heat treatment, like the before heat treatment.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Now, do you still have any questions?
Sir Loy, this is Sir Lawrence from Soxardec, and I would like to pose some questions posted in our FB Live. I would like to start by saying this question from Amber Liagas. I think this is addressed to everyone. What variety of mangoes are the best to grow and more production to harvest? I would like to repeat the question. To our speakers, what do you think, what variety of mangoes are the best to grow and more production to harvest?
Anyone from our speakers can start answering the question.
Hello.
Grace.
Okay. In the Philippines, we have the Carabao variety, which is the export product for mango by the Philippines. And wala naman tayong ibang variety ng mango that can surpass the quality of the Carabao variety. Even other countries, mango growing countries in the world. It is just we can have we can have a good harvest by following really the good practices in growing the mangoes. Then we will get good harvest, good quality fruits, good harvest, like that. So with that would be with an equivalent good profit also. Yun ang sinasabi na kagaya ng sinabi ni Sir Eric, that's good agriculture practice. So it's a combination of all the technologies, as under the Canopy management, is that ang hindi kasi nagamit natin with the technology in terms of mango production is the utilization of the energy coming from the environment for us to produce good quality fruits, and then lessen the use of so much labor, minimize labor cost, minimize pesticide cost, and that is the use of the energy. Yun lang pong sunlight ang dapat na pumapasok sa puno ng mangga para mabawasan po natin yung pinamamahaya ng mga sakit, mga insektong nakakasira sa loob po ng canopy ng mango. Yan lang po. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Grace. Do we still have any answers from our speakers?
Thank you very much for your answers. I think our speakers agree with what one of the speakers answered. We have some more questions here. One is this is actually a follow-up question still from Amber. Is grafted mango tree is better than seedling planting? Can we hear answers from our speakers?
Okay. Again, yes, grafted mango is better than the seedling, meaning the seedlings, mango coming from the seeds, because the biggest advantage is that using seeds as a source of planting materials will take you very long period of time of waiting before the mango trees could bear fruits. But using the grafted one, because the technology would show that you can start inducing it to flower after 5 years of planting.
Okay,
so that's the only advantage for that. But masyado lang mahaba talaga yung pag-aantay nyo ng kung kailan pwedeng mamunga yung mangga kasi mahaba yung kanyang juvenile stage. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Grace. Do we still have other questions from our Facebook, sir?
Again, it seems that our speakers also agree with the answer of ma'am. Now, I would like to pose one question from Love Vine Cantoneros Lavador. Are we or somebody from agriculture sector monitoring the maximum residue limits of pesticides on the mangoes, especially those imported? May we hear from our speakers if you have knowledge on this, if you have somebody or known somebody from agriculture sector monitoring the maximum residue limits of pesticides on the mangoes, especially on export.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am, you are
It's
recognized.
the Department of Agriculture, sir. The Department of Agriculture has a pesticide analysis laboratory which do the testing of determining the MRL level of fruits.
Okay, I think, yeah, I would like to emphasize that it is the okay, so it's the Department of Agriculture who has a laboratory for this test. And one more question, I think this is addressed to everyone who would like to answer. What raw material is good for mango tree in order to harvest a good and quality production? Mango tree, what kind of materials? Raw materials? This is just a question from the Facebook.
Organic.
The question, I would like to repeat the question. What raw materials is good for mango tree? Okay, it might be the no. Yeah, during the planting, during planting, not the planting per se, because she already asked on what's better, if whether it's a grafted or a seedling. I think what practices should be done in carrying the mango tree to bear good production. May we request some of the one or two of our speakers to answer these questions. If you have some advice on how to take care of the mango tree, not the mango fruit, but the mango tree.
Sa quality mo kaya ito. Production. Sige.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So for me, based on experience, in order to have a good quality production or good quality mangoes, you have also to give the proper nutrition. At the same time, these fruits when they are already produced, then pest control coupled with good agricultural practices, and of course, with nutrition and in combination of all these things, then you produce quality mango, or it will bear fruits. It will give you more production per basis. So good agricultural practices, nutrition, pest control, and everything joined together, then you can produce a quality and high productive mango. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Dr. Eddie, for your answer. And there is a last question here. Ask ko lang po if saan makikita po yung contact details ng ating speakers. It will be, it will be shown on our Facebook page on Fiesta and Soxardec, SmartDec, and Vicar pages on Facebook. Thank you. Now, I think we're ready for the conclusion of our program. We will be having another virtual raffle of